Hello and welcome to this instructional video on using the Menza triboard format template. I'm just going to show you guys really briefly how to submit your list using this new template we've designed. So as you can see, this is your core list. It starts here and then it goes down through sideboard A, sideboard B and sideboard C. You'll notice that all the cells are grayed out at the moment, and that's because at this stage everything's all locked and will remain locked until we meet certain criteria. So the easiest way to do it is just to go down from the top for every page. So just start off with the open entries here, which are the white cells. Start there, work your way down. I'm just going to put in some details here real quickly, and you guys can see how the template itself works. When we're selecting our attachments, we obviously need to include a detachment or formation and also the faction for it. So if I fill this in here, okay, now when I go down here, the next most important one is the sideboard option. This sets up, this is obviously whether you want to play with full sideboards or get one of the bonuses that we specified. So for this tutorial, I'm going to go with full sideboards, and as soon as I click that cell, you'll see a lot of these options will unlock themselves. Not all of them, but a lot. So in a full sideboard variation, we now need to enter our actual unit entries. So importantly, we'll start off here with our primary detachment, because you obviously have multiple detachments in your core list as possible. You're going to have a secondary detachment there. So primary detachment will have my warlord, and it will be a librarian. He's going to be mastery level 3, and he's going to have the Domina Liber Demonica. Over on these columns here, pretty self-explanatory. We've got our quantity and the cost of the actual unit itself. Now that gives us a total there, and that's fine. That total will obviously be calculated up here on the side, and will show us our core points, the core list points, and then also the total points for the overall list. Now, as you can imagine, inputting things like this, if you're playing a battle company or something with MSU, you're not going to fit all those entries in here. So another way to do it would be to just keep it really simple, and then just go librarian, master, use some shorthand. Everyone knows what that is. And then punch in that value there. As long as the total cost is the same, that's fine. You've done the sub calculations, it's all okay. I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to fill out the rest of this sheet, and we'll move on to the next sideboard. Okay, so that's my core list there. As you can see, I've made a legal battle-forged detachment, army I should say. It comes at 998 points, and that is my core list in its entirety. So I've got my primary detachment with my warlord, and then a secondary detachment with a couple of dread knights and another librarian. Now I'm going to move on to my next sideboard here. So when I'm doing this sideboard, this section here allows me to add additions to my primary detachment. I don't want to do it on this sideboard. This one here, I want to add some allies. So up the top here, I'm going to go with I'm going to put in an allied detachment, and I'm going to put in faction Space Marines. And don't forget to specify obviously your chapter tactics as well. Once again, as soon as those values have been input, the cells will unlock, and it now allows us to make any additions we want to make. So this one here is going to have a librarian, he's going to be a mastery level 2, and he's going to have a force axe. Important to specify that, and an auspex. I'm going to go ahead and input the rest of the values for this one now as well. Okay, so I've added in my allied detachment here. As you can see, I've got Raven Guard chapter tactics. I've made my unit entries, and that's a valid detachment in and of itself. So that just plugs straight into my core list. These boxes up in the top corner here, they're on every page, and they're just a bit of a handy reference for the players. It can sometimes get a little bit confusing when you're putting multiple lists together. This gives you quick and subtotals for your reference. So now that my allied detachment's done, I'm now gonna, that's a 350 point sideboard. I'm now gonna go on to my next sideboard. This sideboard here, sideboard B, I'm gonna just add some units to my primary detachment. So to this unit, I might add a pair of Nemesis Dreadknights. So I'm gonna add those in real quick. Okay, so that's all done now, and as you can see, my total here, it's a clean 350 points. So that's fine. That's now another valid sideboard. For my last sideboard, I'm going to do a compound sideboard. I'm going to add units to a new detachment, which will be an Inquisitorial detachment, and I'm also going to add units to my core list, my primary detachment. So I'll do those really quickly, and then we'll have a look at it. Okay, so you can see I've completed the entries for that. That's my sideboard C, and as you can see, I've got an Inquisitorial detachment, and Brother Captain Stern has been added to my primary detachment. Again, 350 point sideboard, and that completes my legal Mensa Triboard format list. If we scroll all the way back up to the top here, you'll see I'm 2 points short. I would give these guys a halberd, so these guys can have a Nemesis halberd, and that'll come in at 2 points. And there we go, the perfect 1,000 point core list, bringing our total points for the core list and all three sideboards up to 2050. That's the completed legal list that I can now submit. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up either via email, which I'll put a link to, or on Facebook. Good luck, have some fun with it, play around. There's a lot of really interesting ideas that have been coming through the Pipeworks for different builds, and I'm looking forward to seeing them. So have at it, let's see what you got. Cheers guys, have a good one.